Girl, the word around the street is the one who shot Bambi's mama was Brother Nature. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. What's going on? I heard you bitches were looking for me. Bitch, here I go. Pow, pow. Girl, I know Bambi was traumatic for all of us. One of our Disney movies and stuff that, you know, probably didn't have as much racism in it. But let's go ahead and get to this Colorism TV video. So much has happened over the last couple of days, girl. What's going on? Brother Nature has been exposed for past tweets. The girls have dug up tweets from 2012 and said, Brother Nature, what are you doing? Girl, some of the tweets that Brother Nature was tweeting, I was like, girl, like, of course, Brother Nature's like, what, 22, 23? So 2012, they would make him like an adolescent, probably like 14, 13 or something. But some of these tweets were questionable. I'm like, girl, how you know about, you know, Hitler? Like, how you, like, we grew up in high school knowing that at least he was a bad person because he was a bad person to white folks. But Jesus, like, how did you not know that? So Brother Nature was called out, and girl, he locked his Twitter account up. And girl, he released the iOS press release and said, girl, I'm too late to apologize. He offered an apology and said that, you know, he was garbage. He didn't know he was trolling, wanted attention. But we have to back because what did we do on Colorism TV? What did we do? Not only do we talk about what happened, we talk about the problems, we dissect what's going on, and we unpack. So girl, like Dora, get your backpack out because we got to dive in deep a little bit. So Brother Nature was very young. He was 13, 14. However, when he tweeted these things, we also have to remember that 14, 13, 12-year-olds have been known to bully other children around their same age, and these children be so affected by that they end up dying by suicide. Remember the young teenager who died by suicide what was it, this year or last year, from being bullied. It was so many stories of young teenagers who've been bullied at school who died by suicide. So we have to understand that words mean things. Come on, Crystal's like things, it means things. So we have to be careful at what age, like something like that. Some of these white power rhetoric and stuff like white supremacy talk, like yes, of course, because I know some of the girls probably, oh, Justin, you were trash too. Oh, trust and believe, girl, I was like the trash can sitting behind me, girl. I was a silver trash can as well on my YouTube career I was. But we also have to talk about the impact. The stuff that I said affected a lot of people. The comments that I made about women, the comments I made about black people, the comments I made about people who have experienced, you know, trauma of like losing a loved one to police brutality. That stuff affected people, and you have to own that. We have to own that. I cannot be a person with a enormous or a platform and talk about things and I don't address the issues and stuff that I want to say. I cannot. It's very imperative that we understand why we say it. We have to talk about what that was, where we were at a point in time. What makes Brother Nature different is that this stuff was said back in 2012, but we've not heard it, how he feels about it. Like, did he ever offer any like apology? Does he still think that now? Like, what is it? Like we have to ask these questions, and I think a lot of people out here saying, oh, y'all were just trying to stop his bag as y'all saw him going. And a lot of us can agree that Brother Nature is conventionally attractive person. He's thin, he's light-skinned, he has beautiful teeth. He's not going nowhere. Like, I think people are like really think cancel cultures are like some real shit. Like, we actually have like connections to Sprite. Like, we can hope and counsel. I'm pretty sure we've been counseling Trump for the longest, and white folks still voting for his ass and okay with some of his policies. So like, girl, we have to think about that. Like, Brother Nature is not gonna lose anything, but when you have a platform that big, you have to discuss, you have to offer some type of response to what it was. Like, why were you saying stuff like that? Now, people say, oh, well, I said some stuff too. Yes, but for a person who does not have a platform and probably works a 9 to 5 or whatever, like, the possibility of you having to deal with something like this is very unlikely. Like, it's very unlikely. Like, I'm not gonna say, because if I see a white person that says that, I want them to be termed, I want them to, because that those experiences, those things that they're saying, even if it was 4 or 5 years ago, probably hurt somebody. They probably used their power to affect someone else. Like, they probably were thinking this type of logic and think this shit was okay, and out here taking it out in their jobs. So I don't know if this person was saying stuff like that to people at his school or whatever. So we have to, and like, you just have to deal with the consequences. It is what it is. Like, yeah, we was all trash we came into, but there's some people who are trash right now. So what are we gonna say? We have to have some point where it's all have to be like trash. Like, I even go back to how I was in high school. This person that was in the band, his name was Antorian, and he was a bigger guy. He was heavyset, and how people treated him, and like how much trauma I can only imagine that he experienced being a big person. So a lot of us were fat phobic at the time, including myself, and picking on him. But I, still, like, I did it because it was kind of like the thing to do, and it was garbage as hell. It was like I wasn't attacking this person because I was doing it just to fit in, because they were attacking me for being gay. But I go back and I look at it now, and we're Facebook friends. I'm just like, we really did him wrong, like even me for allowing it. And I got picked on for being queer and dressing differently. So we have to be careful, like, we have to, because people are out here dying by suicide because of that. And if you don't understand the reason for me saying dying by suicide, make sure you Google it. There's a whole article about it. Using language like dying by suicide versus committed suicide is very important, because when you say commit suicide, you're putting stigma on it. So we have to talk about that. We will be discussing about that a little bit more on For the Culture podcast. But honestly, if Brother Nation will be fine, he offered an apology. And if you want to see the tweets, make sure you go to kingeries.com or check the link out in the comments. Let's get into this red table talk. Jada Pickett and Will Smith got at the red table, and they said, girl, Genie, I am wishing upon the lamp, and I want all the tea to come out. And Jada Pickett revealed, and Will Smith revealed that on this past episode of the Red Table Talk, that Jada was sad for 45 days. She cried long enough to build Noah's Ark and to go through the rain and shit. Like, she cried for 45 days straight, she says. And she was like, she was just depressed. She felt like she was kind of living a lie, from what I've said. She was saying that this big image of her and how perfect her family was eating her out, because she was like, I'm not happy. And she didn't understand that. So it would bother her because she couldn't explain it, because people would judge her. I completely understand. Some people were shocked, but it does not shock me, because we do that. We all do that. We all provide this picture perfect of ourselves, and we're not honest. And sometimes when we are honest, people take advantage of that. So it's a lot of things that we have to do to make people feel comfortable talking about their stories and stuff. Like, there's been times where I'm like, I should be happy about the success of how I've like grown over the last couple of years, but there are some times I'm just like, I wish I was further. I wish I had more money. I wish I had more resources to do things I wanted to do. I wish the podcast was popping. I wish that I had the same opportunities as other people who are out here doing the work, because I feel like I really love and I feel like I have more to offer. Like, I think about that, and some people might look at me just surface level and seeing, oh, Josh, you got 30-something thousand subscribers on Instagram. You got 100-something thousand subscribers on YouTube. You got these many followers on Twitter and all that type of stuff. But yet, I'm still struggling with paying my cell phone bill on time. And I think if I say that, if I was to come out and say that, people would be like, oh, bitch, you got her. You should be making money. But it's just like this image of what we think, just because someone has this big platform, that they are making money. And then the moment that you see them, they're not. It's just like, damn, bitch, you ain't making no money. So it's a lot. So I definitely understand. Will Smith told her, I built this beautiful house for you while you're not happy. And Jada was like, you didn't build it for me. And true enough, Will Smith said he didn't. He built it for the family, but mainly for himself. So it was cute. I felt like it was, interesting for them to release that. I feel like it's some branding shit going on with the Smiths. Will Smith is getting ready to portray himself as the genie in the lamp on this new Disney remake of Aladdin. So a live action. So it's not a remake, it's a live action. So I feel like if there's some branding and stuff going on, it's the perfect time. It was only part one of the Red Table Talk, but I encourage people to watch it. Now, my only takeaways from the Smiths is that I think sometimes they are a little bit bubbly, like everything's perfect. And I think it's important for people to see, like, I do make mistakes. I do experience this. There's no such thing as perfect happiness 100%. Like, I think we have to be honest. That's why I don't have a problem saying, bitch, I paid this BLA, I paid my insurance BLA, then wrote a bad check, that shit bounced, and then they took my shit off. They said, girl, no ma'am, bitch, we want your ass. And I just paid that shit yesterday. I think we have to be honest and allow people, like, and supposed to be, I know I joke about it. Somebody else will say, bitch, I've been going through the same shit. And it's amazing to hear so many people explain their situations of them trying to survive in this capitalist society. I think that's just what needs to be done. So I appreciate Jada and Will, but sometimes they, motivation, speak, talk, bullshit, girl, it be running me down. Do you hear me? Girl, speaking of running down on the plug twice, girl, Miss Spice that ran out of flavor, and girl, she is now flour. Girl, Spice went on Instagram and dropped a picture of her, and she looked like she was somebody's white woman that was about to be in White Chicks Part 2, new edition, the Jamaican style, jerk chicken style. And girl, jerk season. And the girls was shook, and Spice was on live saying, this is what it is. This is what it is. I pump your thing, you know. And I was like, no, what is she doing? Like, girl, no ma'am. But she was playing us. She did that because she had a message about colorism. She did a song, she released a video, visuals of talking about how we need to do a better job. Black folks need to do a better job of, like, y'all dragging me for being too dark. Let me go ahead and give you what you want. And then you saying, oh girl, what you doing? When I look at that, I would like for Spice to have a message of, we need to understand that there is colorism in the black community, but we also need to understand where that came from. Black folks just didn't start being colorist 2 weeks ago or 5, 10, 100 years ago. We understand she should have kind of explained where that's, came from. Like, this stuff has been handed down from white supremacy, so we need to understand that before we just start saying that shit, because I don't want it to be no black thing. Like, black folks, get y'all shit together. Pick up y'all self by the bootstrap, get y'all, because that's not what it is. But I do understand that we do need to do a better job. And I've always combated and talked to people and they say stuff like, oh, she's too dark. What is too dark? Her hair is too nappy. What does that mean? When people say things like that, ask them, so then they can start explaining their trash ass ideologies, and you can call it out. Like, a person says, well, she need to have straighter hair, or she need to do this, or she too dark, or she pretty for a black girl. Call it out. Ask them why you say that, because then they have to open up and say, and then they'll start cringing, and then maybe then they'll start questioning why they start saying shit like that. So that's how we combat the stuff. But Spice, she had the girl shook. She did what she had to do. But Spice, girl, you were the same sister but fat shaming the shit out of Homegirl this past season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So sis, what's really going on? But I appreciate Spice's message and stuff. I think it's important that we understand colorism and how it affects black women, especially. Like, black women deal with it more than any. Okay, they're told from the beginning that they're dark skinned, it's too masculine. I actually watched Tashina Arnold on, if I'm saying, I think that's Tashina, yeah, Tashina Arnold. I watched her on Uncensored on TV1, and TV1 is actually doing some good job with this uncensored stuff, and she talked about how it was for her being a dark-skinned actress trying to find jobs. And you can tell that she didn't want to break it down too much because it's too deep, but I would love for dark-skinned actresses like Tashina Arnold to come out and talk about that, because as you all know, Tashina Arnold has been playing this almost like angry mom a lot, like this angry black woman a lot, but they give her that role because she is a dark-skinned woman. We need to understand that. But take a look. It's in the book. I read you down. Oh. Some like new Cassie and Diddy they got messages for each other, girl. Diddy said, I don't want nothing in my life that God don't want, like rebuking the name of Jesus. And girl, Miss Cassie put on her Instagram or Snapchat, said, girl, fuck these hoes. Girl, I don't blame her. Cassie and Diddy must be officially over. Like, y'all know that Diddy was supposed to be dating some new chick or whatever, girl, Miss Chu or whatever her damn name is, and honey, girl, Miss Cassie said, girl, move on down the road. I got other things to do. Moving right out of my life, moving. I don't blame you, Cassie, girl. Get that bread from somebody else, honey. Oh, girl, I have to talk about our good white sis, Miss Megyn Kelly. Girl, Megyn Kelly was on whatever show, I don't even want to give her no plug, talking about, I don't understand what's wrong with blackface. Like, what's the problem? We have 4 people sitting down discussing what is the problem or what isn't the problem about blackface. There was no black person there. There's only white women of color on there. Like, that's all they had. Like, Megyn Kelly is the same individual who was on Fox who said that, you know, Black Santa Claus, like, there's no such thing as a Black Santa Claus. Like, girl, there's no such thing as Santa Claus, period. Like, it's a fictional character. But she was the one like, no, you're taking away Christmas. This is why I say over and over again. That's why I say over and over again that pro-blackness is in fact anti-white, because the system in fact is white. If you look at it, the system wants to let you know on their platform that only white Santa Claus exists. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It is so strong and ingrained in us that we know that even though a yellow cartoon character, The Simpsons, is based off a white family, we know that. Woo! Girl, but Megyn Kelly and a couple of her folks was just talking about blackface, Halloween, do it or don't do it. I'm tired of telling y'all what it is. Like, y'all gonna do whatever y'all wanna do. Like, I think I just like to debate at this point. I think y'all just like to talk. I think y'all just like to hear y'all talk. Cause y'all, I mean, I'm doing it anyway. Are you gonna wear blackface this Halloween? Oh, I'll do that anyway. People gonna be wearing Native American or Indian costumes. Like, it's just, I know. People talking about should kids, white kids should be allowed to play or wear Black Panther stuff. I'm just like, I think we might talk about that on the podcast, but Megyn Kelly, you can go kick rocks in toeless sandals, because girl, once again, you just always showing your white ass ways, sis. That's all I got for this King of Reads TV video. I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Make sure that you're excited for the new episode of For the Culture Podcast coming this Wednesday. Make sure you're checking out merch on kingofreads.com as well as fortheculturepodcast.com/shop. Check it out. Order your stuff and take a picture. Post it with the hashtag For the Culture Podcast or hashtag King of Reads. I'll see it and I'll repost it. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to y'all later on tonight. Bye.
Why are you running? Why are you